Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we've got a case study with a title that really grabs you. Harder than a super diamond. Makes you wonder, right? What could possibly be more precious than that?
Yeah, it's a compelling thought, isn't it? It definitely hints at something, beyond just material value, something deeper.
Absolutely. And that's what we're digging into today. You shared this fascinating personal case study with us, case hashtag 878. It really unravels the lives of one family, how they're all intertwined. We'll be looking at their spiritual journey and the impact of past actions, karma, basically on their present and, well, their future too.
Exactly. Our mission here is to unpack this rich tapestry of their experiences. We're hoping to reveal some, maybe surprising insights into destiny, moral choices.
And the power of spiritual practice.
Right, dedicated practice. Think of this deep dive as maybe a shortcut to understanding those deeper currents running through life.
Okay, let's get into it. So the foundation of this family it really starts with the patriarch, the father. He was a civil servant, Royal Irrigation Department.
Yeah, but more importantly, he was the family's spiritual guide, their role model.
Totally. And not just casually. He was deeply connected to Wat Phra Dhammakaya right from the early days. We're talking like he brought everyone, the whole family, to the temple.
And they were hands-on. That's a striking detail. He wasn't just, sitting in the back. The sources mention him hauling rocks, doing cementing work.
Even roofing the chapel.
Exactly. It was a real family project, even brought in the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law. They all embraced the teachings.
And they had this shared goal, didn't they?
Yeah.
To return to Dusit Buri as a team.
Which, for listeners who might not know, Dusit Buri is described as this high celestial realm, sort of a spiritual waiting area, maybe, a base for beings cultivating perfections.
It really shows that shared vision, that collective path they were on.
That idea of a shared karmic path is, it's fascinating. It shows the power of a leader within the family creating this group aspiration.
But then here's the twist, or maybe the question mark. This dedicated father, he passes away suddenly. Just 59. High cholesterol.
Yeah, it seems quite abrupt, doesn't it? Especially for someone so spiritually focused.
Right. So what's the explanation? What are the karmic threads there?
This is where it gets really specific. The insight from the source points to two past lives. In one, he was a soldier, killed many enemies in battle.
Okay.
And in another, he ordered the killing of animals, to prepare food for guests.
Wow.
And these two actions, the taking of life, they combined karmically to cause the sudden death in this lifetime. It's quite a direct link.
So even with all his merit from practice, those past actions still came due. Wow. What happened to him after passing?
Well, the sources say his rebirth was immediate and bright. A vivid, golden, celestial mansion right there in the special circle of Dusit Buri.
So his good deeds, the temple building, all that,
Yeah.
it paid off in terms of his
That
destination.
seems so. It suggests his accumulated merit significantly outweighed the negative karma, securing him that high spiritual place.
And he sent a message back to his family from Dusit Buri.
Yes, a very clear one. Basically, keep building perfections, especially the mother. He wanted them all to return there together. He was like waiting for them.
That's quite moving, actually. But the mother, her path wasn't smooth sailing after he passed either. She had some trouble.
Yeah, a really difficult time. She was falsely accused of theft, ended up in a legal battle with her superior.
Just bad luck. Or is there a karmic angle there, too?
Definitely a karmic angle. The source explains it as a cycle of retribution. In a past life, the mother, who was actually a high-ranking male officer, then had disliked and unfairly pushed out her current superior, who was her subordinate back then.
So they had this unfinished business.
Exactly, and an unresolved karmic debt.
Yeah.
And the advice given was really important. If she wins the lawsuit, forgive, withdraw the claim, break the cycle.
Forgiveness as a way to stop the wheel turning.
Precisely. It shows you have the power, through conscious choice, to dismantle those old karmic chains.
Yeah. This case really drives home that karma isn't just some old record book. It's active. And how we react now, that's what shapes what comes next. Okay, so the mother's dealing with this karmic echo. How does this all play out for the next generation? Let's talk about her son. His path seems, well, unconventional. He became a police officer, but didn't really plan to.
Right, it seems almost accidental. He struggled with other exams, apparently. But then the police exam, the source says he guessed 8 out of 10 math questions right and got in.
Wow. Talk about unlikely odds.
Yeah, he even described his own career path as confused, which, many people might relate to ending up somewhere unexpected but doing well. It often points to some kind of past karmic link to that kind of work.
And then His story hits this really critical point. When his mother was accused, he, being a cop, felt furious. He actually thought about, well, killing the person who wronged her.
A real crossroads moment, intense anger versus his duty, his spiritual background.
And that's when he got some crucial advice.
Incredibly timely advice. From Luang Perdativo. The monk told him, essentially, look, you're a police officer, do your job, but never kill anyone. If you do, all the merit you've built up will just get used up instantly to offset that one act.
That's a heavy warning, especially in that moment of anger. Did it work?
It absolutely did. The son listened. He chose to forgive instead. Released that anger. It was a huge turning point, showing real spiritual maturity, the power of just stopping, listening to wisdom.
And that moment led to something bigger, didn't it? A lifelong commitment.
Yes, exactly. He took on the fifth precept, no intoxicants, which is interesting because his father, might have had an occasional drink like at New Year's.
The son set an even stricter standard for himself after that experience.
It really shows how one moment of clarity can ripple outwards, shaping your whole path.
Now, his approach to making merry is also really unique. The source says he closes his bank account, empties it for donations.
Yeah, it's quite something. He basically saves money, then when he has a sum, he donates it all, clears the account, starts again.
Like a spiritual savings strategy.
He even talks about merit interest. The idea is that the return on spiritual investment good deeds is way bigger than any bank interest. It builds celestial mansions, divine wealth. It's like an inner balance sheet of good deeds.
A merit credit card almost,
Yeah.
with infinite rewards.
Kind of. And he has big aspirations, like making 1,000,000 baht donation someday.
And his wife is on board with this.
Fully. They're described as merit-making partners for all lifetimes. That shared commitment is powerful, amplifying the good karma for both of them.
It's a great example of how intention and commitment really shape your karmic balance sheet, Making choices today as investments for, well, forever. Let's shift to another brother now, brother 3. His story brings up some darker realities and the complexities of duty. He's a prison officer.
Right, and the source makes it clear he's deeply uncomfortable with it, feels like he's the one going to jail, feels frightened by the whole environment.
That sounds awful. There's this mention of a disciplinary tool, Aegon.
Yes, the Ai Gong, described as a rattan cane with a weighted leather tip, used on prisoners. Apparently it causes severe internal bruising, can even lead to death later. It paints a very grim picture of the reality he worked in.
So given his family's background, why him? Why this job? What are the karmic roots?
According to the source, it connects back to past lives. In one, he guarded prisoners of war for a king who later renounced the throne.
Okay.
But perhaps more significantly, in another life, he was a kumfen, which is like an officer in Yama's realm, one of the hells, overseeing punishments.
Whoa.
Ugh.
So these past roles created a kind of karmic pull toward this specific, difficult job in this life, like balancing the books.
That seems to be the implication, a pattern repeating, but in a human context this time.
Can he do anything about the negative karma associated with such a role while still doing his job?
Yes, absolutely. The advice is key. Act purely out of duty. No anger, no ill intent, no malice behind the actions. That shift in intention makes a huge difference karmically.
But there was even more radical advice, wasn't there? Something about transforming the role itself.
Indeed, really transformative. He's encouraged to become a light giver, to actually encourage prisoners to meditate, to help them see the prison itself as an arama, like a monastery, a place for practice.
Find inner freedom even behind bars.
Exactly. By doing that, he shifts from just being a guard, dealing with negative situations, to someone actively bringing light and merit into that dark place, helping himself and the prisoners. It's a profound shift in perspective.
Now, there's also the adopted brother, a brief mention, but sounds intense. Rebellious, theft, even stabbed brother 3.
Yeah, a difficult situation. The karmic link is that they were siblings in a past life, but the adopted brother fell in with bad company back then.
Ah, so that association created the karma leading to this troubled relationship now.
That's the explanation given. He's cared for by the family, but his past negative connections and actions manifest as causing trouble in this life. A reminder of how associations can shape karma.
These stories really show you the challenge of difficult roles, don't they? But also how your inner state, your intention, can completely change the game, even in the toughest spots. It really highlights the impact of who you choose to associate with, too. Okay, let's go back another generation now, to the grandparents. Their stories add more layers to this family karma. The grandfather first, he was a village chief.
Yes, and apparently quite respected, fought bandits, who they called tigers back then, almost like a local lawman.
A hero figure in a way,
Yeah.
but not into making merit.
Not particularly, no. And this leads to a really interesting karmic outcome. After he died at 80, the source says he was reborn as a Kumfin.
Another Kumfin, like Brother Three's past life, an officer in Yama's realm.
Exactly, tormenting hell beings. His karma was mixed with the duty of fighting criminals, but maybe some roughness there, combined with a lack of focused spiritual merit. So he didn't fall to the lowest hells, but his rebirth reflected his tiger-slaying past life actions.
So the advice is just keep dedicating merit to him.
Yes, continuously dedicate merit. It can help shorten his time there and hopefully lead to a better rebirth later on.
Wow. So even good worldly actions need that spiritual balance. What about the grandmother? She sounds different.
Very different. A kind woman, made merit regularly, went to the temple, but she had a painful death from cholera, also around 80.
A painful end, despite her piety.
Yes, the painful death might have been some residual past negative karma clearing out, but her destination was determined by her consistent merit-making. She was reborn as a beautiful celestial being in Tavatimsa heaven,
Tavatimsa.
with a golden celestial mansion. Her story really shows that the suffering in this life isn't the final word. It's the overall karmic balance that matters for the next life. And again, keep dedicating merit to her too, to enhance her celestial state.
It's a stark contrast between the grandparents.
Yeah.
Something else came up regarding names. The son's daughter is named Kalfut, which means rice Buddha.
And this touches on a really important sacred principle. The source is very clear. Terms related to the triple gem Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, or even words like Dhammakaya, shouldn't be used as personal names, or nicknames, or business names.
Never. Why is it so strict?
Because these are highly revered terms. They represent the essence of enlightenment, the path, the community. Using them casually, like for a person's name, well, it risks disrespect. Imagine someone using that name in anger, or casually. It could inadvertently create negative karma for the person speaking, and potentially for those who chose the name.
So it's about protecting the sanctity of these concepts.
Exactly. There were even examples given of people using Dhammakaya as a surname or business name, and they were requested to change it.
Okay, so what's the practical advice for Kalfut?
Suggest simple alternatives, like Khao Now, sticky rice, or Khao Sui, beautiful rice, something related but not using the sacred term Phut, Buddha. It's about mindful respect.
Looking at all these stories, grandparents, the naming thing, you really see how actions, even seemingly small ones like choosing a name, ripple outwards. It all weaves into this karmic web across lifetimes. Mindfulness seems key. All right, final segment. Let's look at how upholding the Dharma plays out in the son's actual police work, especially with his colleague. They work together, right? One arrests, the son interrogates.
Yes, and there's a fascinating past life connection there too. This colleague was a royal guard in a past life. In fact, the source mentions they were both royal guards together, serving a king who later renounced the world way back in a previous eon.
No way. So that deep connection explains why they ended up partners in a similar protective role now.
It strongly suggests that, yes, a karmic bond leading them to work side by side again.
That's amazing. Okay, but let's talk about the specific merits the son gets from his police duties, especially when it involves the temple, like catching temple thieves.
Oh, this is huge. Recovering stolen temple property. The karmic reward is massive and direct. First, the son's own wealth gets protected from thieves, floods, fires, all dangers.
Like a spiritual insurance policy.
Pretty much. And second, he gains sharp wisdom, insight into people's minds, which, is incredibly useful for an interrogator.
Definitely. What about just patrolling the temple, ensuring security?
That also brings significant merit. It guarantees his own safety and protection wherever he goes. It helps prevent suffering from various dangers, and crucially, it helps close the path to rebirth in the lower realms, like hell.
So protecting the sacred space offers profound personal protection in return.
Exactly. Direct karmic consequences for actions tied to protecting the Dharma.
Now the interrogation part, dealing with criminals. The source said his heart could get clouded. How does that work karmically? Is it good or bad?
It's mixed. That's the tricky part about some roles. There's merit, definitely. Maintaining peace and order in society is meritorious.
Right.
But there's also potential demerit. The criminals might hold grudges. That negative energy, that resentment could potentially lead the son towards a future rebirth as, guess what?
Let me guess. A kumfin.
Bingo. Like his grandfather and his younger brother's past life. It's a potential karmic trajectory for those involved in judgment and punishment, if not careful.
So what's the path forward for him? How does he navigate that?
The key is intention again. Perform the duty without anger, without malice. Just focus on justice. And most importantly, keep accumulating huge amounts of positive merit through generosity, morality, and especially meditation. Dana, Sila, Bhavana. That positive karma needs to outweigh any potential negative ripples from the job, ensuring he stays on track for Dusat Buri.
So build up so much good karma, it essentially overwhelms the trickier parts of the job. Makes sense. And quickly, the brother-in-law planning to ordain.
Yes, intends to ordain for life after retiring. This is seen as stemming directly from past life ordination merits. He already has that inclination built in, making it easier for him to follow through if he's truly determined this time around.
It really ties everything together, doesn't it? How even these difficult duties, if approached with the right mindset and backed by spiritual practice, can lead to positive outcomes, not just for him, but maybe affecting the whole family's journey.
So that was case #878. An incredible journey, really, through this family's deep faith, seeing these karmic threads linking past and present, and just how powerful our conscious choices are. Fathers, mothers, sons, grandparents, all navigating destiny through merit, forgiveness, practice.
It's a potent illustration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every action, every single intention, even the small things, they're all weaving this incredibly intricate karmic web across lifetimes. It literally sculpts our future.
It really does make you stop and think. If every action, every thought weaves this web, what single diamond of a choice could you, listening right now, make today? A choice that could really shape your ultimate destiny.
Maybe a choice you hadn't even considered before hearing this story. Exactly. Something that points towards that true, lasting happiness, which, as the title suggests, is maybe even harder to attain, but infinitely more valuable than any super diamond.
Reflect on that value of inner wisdom, the pursuit of that lasting peace, the choices we make, the intentions we hold. They really are the most precious resources we have, shaping this life and all the ones to come.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it's given you plenty to think about. Until next time.